Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Belaus. I'm the owner of Qigong with Debbie. I'm a Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, and meditation instructor. And today I want to talk to you about emerging into the spring season. We had a spring equinox last week. And so depending on where you live, I live in the Northern Hemisphere. I live in Arizona. It's extremely warm here for this time of year. It doesn't feel like spring. It feels like summer. But there's still signs of the spring. The days are longer. There's certain plants and certain trees that are just starting to bloom. So there is a change. There is a difference. And with those changes, this whole idea of these ancient energy practices is to follow nature's cues of what's happening. And we take those cues and we relate them to ourselves because we're part of nature. And the season of spring is all about, we usually focus on certain organs for different times of the year. The organ for this time of year is the liver, which is your filtration part of your body. And we also work on focus on the ligaments and the tendons. The energy of spring is out. It's more active now. We're coming out of that hibernation. And so the energy is very up. There's a lot going on. So when you think about energy, going up, then you're probably going to use your body a little bit more. You're going to be more active than in the winter seasons. And the ligaments and the tendons and the joints, especially the socket and the ball socket of our joints, can get pretty irritated. So we want to do movements that will help reduce some of that pain. I think of the ligaments and the tendons as the riggings of a sailboat. We need to, in order to open the sail, you have these ropes that are part of the riggings of the sailboat to open. And that's how and they're usually made out of rope, and they can get dried out. And if they're dried out, they're going to split, they're going to break, you're not going to get the sail open. Similar to our ligaments and our tendons, they're the riggings of your body. They help to keep your muscles and your bones in place. They need to be elongated. They need to be hydrated also. So the movements that we want to do this time of year are more fluid motion. That's what I love about Tai Chi. Tai Chi tends to be a more slower, fluid movement of the practice. And also, you want to think of your body, since we're part of nature, I love this line, when you touch into the different patterns of movement, when you look at nature, there's different patterns in nature, in a flower, in a tree, you could see the patterns very clearly, but we also have certain patterns of energy in our own body. For instance, the figure eight movement in a pattern shows up in nature, such as, well, first I want to talk about how it relates to ourselves. So and I find this fascinating, the figure eight pattern shows up in the four heart chambers, circulating blood in the heart. So I never realized that. I never knew it worked in a figure eight, those four chambers. And when doctors put pacemakers in patients, they know it's in the right place when the wires of the pacemaker begin to move in a figure eight pattern on their own. So I find that really fascinating that happens. Another way that shows up is with fish. Certain fishes, when their eggs are hatching, they also make a swimming pattern of a figure eight to try to push out the inner shell to come out. So there's another example, and there's many more. So with those examples of nature, and of how it affects our inner workings as well, can help you understand of why it's so important to move the body in many different directions and patterns. We're very linear beings, and we tend not to move in many different directions. And that's what dries us out pretty rapidly. And with that, drying out can cause a lot of irritation, can cause a lot of inflammation, and then that will turn into also pain, arthritis, all those kinds of inflammatory diseases. And so those patterns can help us to reconnect to the fluid patterns that underlie so many movements that are found in our own bodies and that are also found in the natural world. So that's what I want to talk to you or show you, some movements that you can create, some new patterns that maybe have been dormant for a very long time. As we age, we also dry out. And with that drying out will affect, again, the ligaments and the tendons, the bones, the irritation of bone on bone. I hear a lot of my students talk about, their knees are starting to hurt, their shoulders are starting to cause some pain. It's that wear and tear that goes on over the years. And then all of a sudden, if we don't do anything to help the synovial fluid moving, then it all of a sudden it turns into a pretty bad pain. So the movements I want to show you today are more circular. Circular, when you think of a figure 8 movement, the infinity symbol, it's all circular. It's a continuous movement. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's just continuous fluid movement that we make with our body. And in so doing, it will help to open up and repair some of those areas of the body that have not really been properly taken care of. I just started having some pain in my hips and my knees and my foot because I was overdoing my exercise. I had started a new program. It was way too much for me. And so here it shows up with pain. So I know I need to back off of that. I need to bring in more of those more fluid, different directional movements for my body to feel better. So the important thing that we do is we get all the circulation moving as well, which we'll do a little bit of Qigong in this practice, and we're going to do a little bit of TaiChi fluid movements also in this practice, and try to maybe incorporate them into your day, especially if you are having some irritation, some inflammation in your joints and also in your ligaments and your tendons. Okay, so let's get started. Find a comfortable place that you won't be disturbed. Hopefully I won't be disturbed. I'm outside on my patio, and sometimes there's noise. So hopefully there isn't any right now. And we're going to start with just some basic stuff. We're going to go right into what's called shaking the 9 gates. I want to get the body now stimulated and circulated before we go into some of those movements, those pattern movements. The figure 8 movement especially will be showing. Even also crossing over. Crossing over is a movement that naturally happens in our body because we have a right hemisphere of the brain that works your left side of your body. The left side of the hemisphere of the brain works your right side. That's a crossover. So we're going to move that energy in a crossover. We're going to move the energy in many different directions in this practice. But first, let's just get some things started. Let's get that circulatory system going on, your respiratory system going on. This is called shaking the 9 gates. It's called the shaking the 9 gates. The 9 gates represent your major joints, your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists, your ankles, your knees, your hips, if I didn't say that, and the neck. And so we're getting some fluid, we're getting some moisture, we're hydrating the body by simply shaking. These practices can be done anywhere, any time of the day. Of course, caution, if something hurts, back off of it. But this is a very gentle way to get some stimulation to the body very quickly. And also, it helps with this. Also, the shaking also helps with turning on your central nervous system as well. It also helps with bone density. I mean, there's just so many great benefits to just simply shaking the body. This is a natural thing that the body does. You probably don't do this very often in your everyday life, but this is a big practice in these ancient practices of Qigong and Tai Chi, is that we shake the body, we stimulate the body, we get it energized. We're taking our energy, our personal energy, and then we're gathering with the energy all around, and then we store it. We store that energy to help maintain our day. So we have the vitality that we need. So we have the circulation that we need. So that's what we're doing here. We're also going to add a little purge breath to release some toxins. Toxin buildup causes inflammation. So we're also going to release some of the toxins by inhaling through the nose, exhaling gently out through the mouth. It's like you're blowing out a candle. 70% of your toxins are released to the exhalation of your breath. So that's the importance of paying attention to your breathing. Breathing is a big component also of these practices. The breath helps to connect the mind with the body, and it helps to direct you on how you're feeling, helps to direct of adding another layer of energy to the body. If you're breathing correctly, it just gives you more energy, basically. So that's what we're working with. These are energy practices. So keep shaking and inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth, releasing the toxins. And then there's one more thing you want to do is lift the corners of your mouth up into that. It's called the inner smile. And it actually turns on your vagus nerve, which is your longest cranial nerve in your brain. And it helps to quiet down, again, that central nervous system. So we're shaking and we're releasing and then stop. So we're going to find that flow, that free flow in our body. Hopefully you feel somewhat stimulated now from that shaking. Let's start with some movements, different kinds of movements. We'll start from the head, we'll work down to the feet, and then we'll go into some Tai Chi movements as well. We're just going to basically start with the head. We're going to use our eyes also as we're doing the movement. So I just want you to drop your chin to your chest. You're going to look down as you start to come up So with a soft gaze, you're going to look up, bring the head back, look what's above you. Taking in your environment, you're going to come forward again, chin to chest, and then we're going to come back and look up at the sky, and then we're going to look down again. So we're starting to get some movement in the neck, just gently and slowly. You're also using your eyes, your vision. Remember, 90% of information comes in through your eyes. So we're activating our eyes as well as we're doing this. So many benefits for these movements. And then we'll bring the head back to neutral. You're going to turn your gaze over to one side, see how far you can look back. Take that gaze over to the center, and then you take that gaze over to the other side, and then back to center. We'll do that again. So we're getting some movement in the neck. Come back to center, and then the other side. Then we're going to drop the chin to the ear to one shoulder, opening up the side of the neck, and we're also going to take it to the other side. And you're just going to go back and forth. Again, soft gaze as you look, as you're bringing your head from side to side, working those eye muscles as well. And then back to center. Let's bring our hands onto our clavicle bone, and you're just going to rotate one elbow. So we're going to start to lubricate the shoulder joint. We're going to take it to the other direction, other side, lubricating the joint. You can go from one to the other or just stay on one side, but we're starting to lubricate the joints of the shoulder, the ball and the socket of the shoulder joint, also the elbows. And you might feel that in the wrist as well. Now, if you want to make it a little bit bigger, then you can start feeling a little bit of a stretch on the side rib cage. That feels really nice. Also, so you're creating some space here. We have to create space within the body to get the energy to flow. If you're compressed, if you're in pain, that's a compression of your energy. That's a compression of your body. When you compress, then you don't get that flow of energy smoothly running through your body. So that's what these practices are for. They help you to create space within your joints, within your bones, within the tendons, within the ligaments. And in that, creating that space, you're going to have more room for breath to enter the body. You're going to be more relaxed and free of pain, which just is an overall great tonic for your whole system, for all your systems. So we're working the shoulders here, just going back and forth with the two. You can expand that movement a little, so it's a little bit bigger. And then we'll come back to center. Let's take one arm, lift it up as much as you can. Try to get a full rotation. So we're trying to pay attention to the joints of our body. If they feel like you can't do a full movement, then of course, protect yourself and take it slower, really paying attention to where you're feeling that inflammation or that pain. So we're doing a big rotation here. We'll go to the other side, big rotation or small rotation. Again, depending on your flexibility, but it's going to help you become aware of where you've lost that flexibility, especially in the joints. Remember, this is the spring season and we're highlighting the joints, the ligaments, the tendons for this time of year, for the spring. Every season brings a new focus. And for now, let's do both shoulders. And for now, the focus is on the ligaments, the tendons, and the joints. And let's take it to the other direction. So we've opened up some of those areas of the body. We're going to go right into a twisting of the spine, going from side to side in a twist. Now you can do this keeping the head centered, or if you want a little bit of a bigger twist or a bigger movement, then you release that opposite heel off the floor. If you tend to get dizzy from moving your head from side to side, then just keep it centered. But you can make it as big as you need to. Twisting the spine. So twisting is a way, it's kind of like a sponge. You're wringing out the dirty water from the sponge. You're wringing out your spine. You're creating lots of movement and flexion in the spinal cord. You're cleaning it out. You're releasing toxins from this particular movement. So mostly all these movements is about releasing toxins, creating space, so you can have that free energy flow throughout your entire body. And then slowly release and bring that to a stillness, feeling the rebound of that movement. We're going to just lean over to one side, just hang here, just going to dangle over to one side, getting a stretch. If you want, you can release the arm up towards the ceiling, or you can bring it alongside your ear, again, depending on what feels comfortable for you. So we're getting a side stretch here. We're going to be coming into more directional movement in just a moment. These are directional movements of flexions, side to side, a twisting flexion. We're also going to come into a forward flexion and a back flexion in just a moment. So there's that side flexion. Now we'll come into back flexion, forward flexion. You're going to cross your arms. So here's a crossover movement, which I had told you about, one of those patterns. We're going to inhale, bring the elbows back, lift the chest up, release the hands. Then when you come forward, you're tucking in your tailbone, you're tucking in your chest, and you're crossing the forearms again, opening up the back of the spine. Inhaling, opening up those elbows, release the hands as you come forward, making little fists with the hands, crossing over again. So again, lots of different kind of directional movement happening in this little piece here, moving the spine forward and back, moving, creating a crossing over with the arms. You're stretching here, the ligaments and the tendons. You're creating space, especially for the upper spine and the lower spine as well. So we're creating space and movement, directional movement of your spinal cord. And you can do this, until you feel like you've had enough. But I like to do this for a little bit because it just feels so wonderful from my cervical vertebrae all the way down to my low back. Opening up. And now we come to the hips. We're going to do a figure 8 with the hips. So you can separate the feet a little bit. Bring your hands on your hips, and you're going to make a figure 8. Now start slow and really get the feeling and the rhythm of this movement, creating a figure 8 with your hips. Now you can start to make it bigger, expand it, maybe feeling that not only in your hips, but you also might feel that in your knees. You might also feel that all the way down into the feet. Do what you can, but start to get that figure 8 pattern, the patterns that I talk about that are natural patterns that the body can follow, nature's cues, awakening the dormancy, because you probably haven't done a lot of these movements in a really long time. And then you're going to take it to the other direction, creating that figure 8 in your hip joints. So we're working the hip joints, we're working the knee joints, we're working the ankle joints, the ball and socket part of the body. As well, getting some synovial fluid to these areas as well. You're turning on these applications so your body can be feeling more in a flow, so you don't feel congested. You're not holding on to tension or tightness or gripping. You're going to soften the rough edges of your body, especially where they feel inflamed. So we're moving in this directional movement, as I had mentioned about the heart chamber. The 4 chambers in the heart move in a natural figure 8. So our body's familiar on a very deep cellular level of these movements. So it turns on something neurologically in your brain to release, to let go, to create space. So the body releases inflammation and tightness and gripping, especially. So you can do this, as long as you need to. This might be a movement that you just add to your routine during the day. It's a nice one to do when you wake up, are these figure 8s for the hips. And then slowly come back, notice the rebound of that movement. This one, we're going to bring weight on this leg. We're going to come the ball mount of this foot. And these are called opening up the gates. So you open up the gate. This is external rotation of the hip. And then you cross over and bring internal rotation of the hip. So you open the gate, you close the gate. Open the gate, close the gate, working on these areas of the body that gets pretty congested in the hips. So we're opening up the gate. We're opening up some of that, again, the joint in the hip. You're also opening up the knee joint, just opening and closing, externally rotating the hip, internally rotating the hip. We'll do the other side. Weights on this leg, on the toes of the other. Open the gate, close the gate. Open the gate, close the gate. External rotation, inner rotation. External rotation, inner rotation. External, internal. External, internal. Again, maybe areas that you have not worked on in these certain joints. Releasing any discomfort. If there is discomfort, apply it to your own body. You don't have to go as open as I am. Just make it no, you don't want any pain in anything that we're doing today. Pain is indication. Either something's going on or you're doing too much. So you just want to recognize that and then release. Now we're going to do a full rotation. You're just going to be on the ball mount of this foot, weights on this leg. The ball mount is right underneath the toes. So that's what you're circling. You're circling, working that ankle joint, working the knee joint, working that hip joint as well. So you'll feel from the foot all the way up to the hip. Again, we're creating some hydration for the joints. Drying out of the joints is what's going to cause inflammation to a point of pain. We don't want that to happen. We don't want to feel like we're in any sort of pain. Going all the way around. And then stop feeling the rebound of that. Let's do a little bit more activity before we come into some Tai Chi. Let's activate the hands a little bit. We're just going to do some gentle tapping. I do this in all my classes just about. Tapping is also a way to activate and to get hydration going, to get stimulation going. And you can tap however you want. I like to start with the head down. So I'm just tapping all these areas of my body, the lungs especially. This time of year, spring is allergy season for a lot of people. You don't want to have any kind of fluid building up from sinuses, building up into the lungs. It's not a good plan. We want to keep these lungs as clear as possible. We're going to tap down the inside of the arm. We're just activating the skin, proprioceptors. We're activating different parts of the body to get them, get them circulating. The skin is your largest organ of your body, so we're activating the skin, the largest organ of your body. And you can do this however you want to. And then we're going to tap the whole region of all these organs that sit in this part of your body. And we want them, they get tight too. If you're congested and you're not standing right, everything gets compressed. You're not going to get that free flow of energy through the system. So that's what we're trying to do. Trying to get a free flow of energy throughout our entire system. That's going to give you energy. That's going to give you vitality. That's going to release some pain. It just does so many different things. We're going to tap down the backs of the legs. We're going to tap the inside of the legs. Again, there's no specific way you have to do this. Any way that feels good for you. You can also do this in a chair. All the stuff can be done in a chair as well. A little goes a long way. And then stop. Again, feeling the rebound of those movements. Let's try to work on some circular movements in a Tai Chi form. So we come to standing, just step one leg out to the side, and then what's called opening the flow. So we're just lifting the arms up just to the shoulders. And before we start, we have a 3 feet of I call it your energy, your personal energy space. 3 feet around you is your energy aura. We don't want to go past it. It's kind of like an invisible bubble. Going past it's going to give too much strain to the body. I see a lot of people like really exaggerating the movements. You don't have to. It's a simple movement. It's just lifting up and coming down right now. We're drawing up the energy. The arms aren't doing the movement as much as the energy. You're lifting up, using the whole body from the feet to the arms. So we're opening up, it's called opening up the flow. Sometimes this takes some time to get it. And if this is all that you did right here, and you did it at a 4-second tempo, soft and slow, if you're going too fast, then you're missing the stillness and the benefit of these movements, of this practice of Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a meditation in motion. So therefore, we're paying attention to our breath as you inhale and you exhale out. Slowly bringing in the breath in through the nose, lifting the arms, straightening the legs. You shift back, you bend the knees, and you bring that energy down, and you exhale through the nose. Inhaling through the nose, up, and exhale down. So this is a good pace to start. Good pace to start. So we're lifting up and we're releasing down. Now we're going to work a little bit more, bringing it up, taking this arm, bringing it all the way around. Look behind you, taking that energy from behind you, scoop it up, bring it forward. Just playing with these energies, moving it around. Let's take it to the other side. Use your eyes again. Strengthen the eyes, strengthen your vision, grabbing that energy behind you, and then let it settle in. Lifting up again, bringing the arm around. So there's many different forms in Tai Chi. It doesn't matter how many you know or how many you do. What matters is that you're connecting to this idea of energy. connecting it into yourself, how it relates in your body, and how nature plays with this. Then we're going to do a crossing over, another pattern here that the body loves. We're crossing over the energies, the right side of the brain to the left side of the body, the left side of the brain that works the right side of the body, energy movement. Getting that free flow, clearing out. So a lot of this is just clearing out and moving that energy around and then containing it for your day, and then let it settle in. The circles, we take this hand comes behind you, this one comes around. We're just creating a circle. Very easy circle. And then you can look at your hand. Again, you're exercising your eyes. You're creating a one-pointedness by following the breath slowly and following the movement with your eyes. So the slowness of it, sometimes that's the hardest part to learn, is how to slow down. How do you slow down your patterns? Because in the stillness, in the slowing down, in the contemplation of the movement becomes the meditation in motion. Let's do the other side. A small circle again. We're gathering the energy. We're bringing that energy in. We're gathering the energy. We're bringing it back in. Remember the circle, no beginning, no end. We're gathering the energy and bringing it back in. Now we're going to create a little bit more. Open up the legs a little bit more. This arm comes behind you. Bigger circle now, bigger circle of energy. We're gathering the circle. We're bringing it around. We're going to contain it also. Gathering the circle, looking softly at the eyes. Let's do the other side. Gathering the energy, bringing it back in. Gathering the energy, big circle of energy, swooping around you. Looking at the movement, slowing it down. And now we're going to do both. So we take the energy from this side, we gather it in. We take the energy from this side, we gather it in. The energy from this side, we gather it in. Energy from this side, we gather it in. And now we're starting a form, a circle, two circles. You're looking at the hands. You're moving with a rhythm. You find a rhythm. If you just did this, this is all you need to do until you connect with the rhythm of the movement, the rhythm of your breath, the rhythm of the energy moving in, going out, grabbing it, bringing it in. And then you can start tightening it up, tightening that circle. Two circles happening here. It's called cloud hands. Now just going from side, shifting the weight now. Soft gaze for the hand, looking at the hands with soft eyes. Maybe slowing it down a little bit more. I'm working a little quicker than I usually do. So I'm just going to slow it a little bit more. We're focusing on one-pointedness, looking at the hands with the soft gaze, feeling the rhythm of the movement, shifting from side to side. Maybe you can feel a little bit of breeze coming through the hands. Simple. And then we're going to tighten it a little bit more until we form a energy ball. This hand is below us, this one's in front. We're going to open it up. Open up the energy ball. Spin again. Compress. Spin the ball and compress the energy. Spin, open, and compress, compress, compress. And then from here, we step out to the side, we bend that front knee, and we're just going to move this ball in a circle. It's a circle in a circle. Moving the energy. We're shifting back again. We're shifting forward again. Simple, easy, dynamic. Your nervous system's going to love this kind of work, kind of movement. The circles, the movement of the body, opening of the joints in the knees and the ankles and the hips. Take it to the other direction. The circle within a circle. Breathe, smile, containing this energy. And then from here, we release it. We lean back. We're pushing forward, like the waves going out, waves coming in. No beginning, no end. Pushing it out, Just like a wave, there's no ending, there's no beginning. It just flows in and out, just like your natural patterns in your body. You flow in, you flow out. You breathe in, you breathe out. Here's the pattern showing up. In and out, pushing. And then we come back in, we open up this big energy ball and we compress it again. We're going to pulsate it. We open, we pulse. The whole body's moving from the feet, the waist, your arms, pulsating this energy, gathering it, expanding it, and gather. Then this hand's on the bottom, this one's on top. Compress, and then open, and then compress. Spin the ball and compress. Spin the ball and compress. Spin the ball and compress, compress, compress. This hand's on bottom, this one's on top. We step to the other side, heel toe, bend the knee, circle this energy ball, leaning back, leaning forward, lubricating the joints, slow and smooth. Breathing in and out through the nose. Little lift of the smile, activate your endorphins, a circle within a circle. Go to the other direction, circling again, lots of circles. This time if you're lubricating your joints as you're doing this meditative motion. And then we lean back and we push forward. We lean back smoothly. No hurry. No strain. You don't want to push too far. Remember, you want to stay in that 3 feet of your own personal energy space. We pull in, just like we do in life. We push out when you're ready to go. We pull in to resume. We push out when we're ready. So the idea of the continuous moving ebb and flow of our life shows up as a pattern in our bodies. And then we pull in again, we open up wide, we compress again. Let's find the rhythm, the pulsating of this energy in our body, like a heart beating. The heart is beating, your body is breathing, you've circulated it, and you've expanded it, the energy. Now let's gather the energy from below, from above, and just let it wash through you, that movement, that fluidity, as you fill your body with this beautiful energy you've just cultivated. Let it heal you, let it repair you, let it reset your systems, finding that ease, finding peace within your own systems of body, of mind, of spirit, and your energy. And then we'll seal it. Feel the rebound of that. Just notice how you feel. And if you feel good, try to do it some more. And that's it. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do. It's free. I try to get something out as often as I can. But today, I wish you a wonderful springtime. Hope to see you soon.